the professor of the universe. And he's our go-to guy when we have questions about cable TV, things that have wavelengths to them, all kinds of science. Hey, Jim, how you doing?
Good morning. Fine. Great.
You're not centered. I got to center you.
I'm center. Front and center.
You would think with today's technology, this picture would be forward instead of backwards. I don't understand this whole thing. I think we would figure out something to do that. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you.
Did you hear we're sending a rocket up to the sun?
I heard you this morning say it, but I wasn't positive I heard the whole story.
Mm.
Did we say why we're doing it?
To study the sun. The last story I just read said it has to do with theories about the solar wind.
Solar winds.
With solar wind causes comets to have tails.
Mm-hmm.
So, any thoughts on that?
No. You get too close to the sun, as you know, the mass alone will draw the object in, the gravitational force, but it would burn up.
I know that if you go too close to the sun, the wax that holds your feathers together will melt off.
The wax that holds your feathers.
Did you never hear that story?
The phoenix? I'm not positive I had.
Yeah, that might be no, I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, what was his name?
It wasn't Prometheus, was it?
Yeah.
Was it Prometheus?
Prometheus, that was it, yeah. Prometheus. That's right.
Yeah, I don't know why we want to study all these things. I mean, the sun's been there for a while. It'll still be there. We'll
I hope so.
leave it be.
If it's not there, then we're not here either.
We're not here. No.
That's it. We're done.
We're in good shape.
Have you ever made a solar like a solar oven? Like you can do this in school.
We did that in the military in Vietnam all the time.
Really?
All the time.
And how did it work? Tell me explain how that works.
Well,
I'm trying to remember.
We basically dug a hole in the ground and we put in the 3 or 4 sides of metal. And then we would put the object that we want to cook, whether it be meat or bread or whatever, in there. And then the sun would beat down on it all day. And we would focus. We had 2 mirrors, and we would focus the mirrors. And it was the cook's job, or the people that were doing the bread or whatever it was, to make sure that the mirrors got turned periodically, so that the light shone directly on that top of the lid of this metal, object. And let me tell you, it was hot in there. When we opened it up, it'd burn your hand. You had to use your steel pot helmet just to open up the lid to get it out of there. So those ovens. Solar ovens really work.
There was a story one time, and I don't know if this is true or not, but you just reminded me of it. There was a guy stuck in the snow someplace, and he was going to freeze to death. So he melted some snow, and then he let it freeze, and it became a magnifying glass. And then he went and he got twigs, and he started the stuff on fire, and that's how he survived.
Wow, I would have never thought that.
I know.
That's
never thought
that's a great idea.
Never thought that.
I gotta remember to do that if I'm ever stuck in the snow.
Make sure you have a match, though.
No. Let's see. The magnifying glass is how he lit
for the from the sun.
Right.
Oh.
He melted the snow and then poured it into whatever he had to create a concave or whatever you need.
Yeah, I've heard of people using their eyeglasses and a chewing gum wrapper, the aluminum foil, to direct the beam, but I've never heard of snow.
Yeah. That was. I don't know if that's
It would seem to me if you held it up to the light, the snow would just melt.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
But
what do I know?
I gotta try this.
All right, you ready for your phone
I'm ready.
calls? Okay. Good morning. You're on the air with Jim.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I believe this is Tony calling. The person you're talking about was Icarus.
Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Learned that in high school when we were studying ancient history and Greek mythology. But anyhow, the sun, I've been watching the sun for a long time, ever since Bohr came up with his global warming, and everything I can come across indicates that the sun is really out there radiating everything, and it's more or less overdue to cool off a little bit. Goes through 11-year cycle, or something like 15 years now. So much for their 11-year cycle. But it's really interesting when you look at NOAA's website for solar weather. Apparently we have 4 or 5 satellites that are more or less in stationary orbit around the Earth here, and they monitor the sun's activity like 24/7. Interesting. But I wouldn't want to go into the whole thing. I just follow it only because of the crazy weather we've been having lately. And what is this, the fourth hottest summer since they've been keeping records? So anyway, have a great day, everybody, and thank you for the programming, and thank you, Jim, for coming on the air and enlightening us. Have a great day. Have a great weekend.
You too.
Thank you, son.
Yeah, they monitor the sun a lot for solar flares because solar flares is what causes a lot of atmospheric noise. And so in satellite business, that noise will knock out the satellite signal on the Earth. So let's say the Earth satellite, the satellite receiver dish is aiming at a satellite. That noise coming down is so great that it will black out the satellite transmission noise. So we know exactly when that's going to hit the Earth. We know exactly what the GPS coordinates of it are. And so we can put a notice out to our subscribers that we will have a blackout or signal problem during that time of day. Now what we do, we have so much fiber that if it's going to black out, let's say Ocala, Florida, we might get our signal from West Palm Beach, Florida. And it was because it hasn't hit there yet. Okay. It hit here yet, or it hadn't hit New York yet. It's hit here, or another coast. Let's say it hit the Pacific, and we can supply signal to them by fiber.
And we always got those notices too for the radio station itself when the solar activity was at its peak, because it would knock our signal.
Right. And then if the satellite is right in front of the sun at a certain time of day, it's only certain months, only certain time of day for that month that the sun's right behind the satellite. And then your dish on the Earth's aiming right at that satellite, and the sun's right behind it. Well, the sun has more energy than the satellite does, and you'll get a blackout on that. But it's momentary. I would say 3 to 4 minutes.
So just to tell you, the rocket is taking off from Cape Canaveral tomorrow morning at 3:33 a.m.
333.
And it's launching a Delta IV Heavy Parker solar probe.
So a 3334?
333, yeah.
Good morning.
All right, let me squeeze in a phone call over here. Good morning. You're on the air with Jim.
Yes, good morning. See, I recently flew on a commercial airline again, and every time you fly on those planes, they always ask you to turn off your electrical devices and put them on what they call airplane mode. Now, what exactly is airplane mode?
I don't think anybody knows. No, I really don't think. I mean, I'm sure some of these cell guys like Matt that comes in here would know, but I think it's more along the line of basically not turning it off, but putting it in mode where it will not transmit. So any calls you get and such would be stored. And that's my thinking on it, because I know when I put it on airplane mode and I can fly, 5 hours in a plane or longer, and, it doesn't ring. But as soon as I get off and take it off of airplane mode, all my messages are there. Everything's there.
Wow.
It received them. It just wouldn't let them introduce me to them, you might say.
So more or less, you're just turning your equipment off, huh?
I would think so. Yeah, but it's in a mode where the plane receives the signal. It transmits it to your device, but your device is in Earth. It just doesn't do anything.
All I have is my cell phone, and I just turn the thing off, and then when I land, I turn it back on. But see, real quickly with this object going to the sun, I heard it's going to take 7 years to get there.
Well, I don't know. I didn't hear that, so I can't comment on it.
Let me see if I have that. I don't know. 7 years. Wow.
7 years, yeah.
Could be. Yeah,
That's
7 years.
I heard it wrong.
That's what it says, yeah.
All right. So.
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's a fur piece.
Yes, it is.
It's got to travel there. And
what'd you call it?
A fur piece. That's a hairy subject.
It's quicker than going to Mars. That's for
sure. Yeah, it's a long way away. Yeah.
My brother just asked me if they'll send it at night when it's cool. Yeah, they'll send it at night. It's a little cooler.
Yeah. Funny. That's what I think one of my daughters said years ago. Some subject came up about studying the sun. They say, why don't they just study at night when it's not so bright? And I go, yeah.
There you go.
That's great. All right. Phone lines are open if you want to call Jim George. He's our go-to guy. It's fun to talk about these types of topics, but it's probably not what you do for a living.
Yeah, we're very close to do what we do for a living. My two guys are in town, one from Colombia, the other one from Miami, and they're in the office this morning early. And
They both speak Spanish?
They both speak Spanish.
Do you speak Spanish?
I do not.
Okay. So they're talking behind your back.
Well, they speak English also.
They're talking in front of us.
But when they're in the office, they speak Spanish to each other. Yeah. But I walked in this morning, and one of the TV sets that we have on our wall was actually working. And they said, "Did you notice it?" And I said, "Yeah." They said, "Well, that's coming all the way from New Mexico, that signal."
Oh.
And we were just showing you how the system works. And so they were telling me that they're going to be here for 3 months because we want to launch right away. And they want to wait till the set-top receivers come in so they can test every single one of them. So we don't have a beta test that goes awry. Why didn't we check this? They want to be here. So I booked them a 3-month stay and an extended stay. And they're going to be here for 3 months, and they're going to work on every little aspect so that when we launch, and we like to launch commercially in November so that people could, like a parent could get the service for the child or the wife for the husband and say, okay, here's your service. And it's going to work on your cell phone. It's going to work on your iPad. It's going to work on your laptop. It's going to work on your TV. So no matter where you go in the nation, you can have our signal.
Really?
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
And we'll have local Ocala channels on there?
Local Ocala channels.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is it all video, or do you have any audio?
It's video and audio.
But I mean solely like radio. Do you have like radio going over the?
We won't have music channels yet. We have 48 music channels we want to add. Like jazz channels.
I'm thinking like WOCA.
No, that's an app, as you know.
No, I don't know.
Oh yeah, so you can you take any radio station, you can get an app for it, and it will send it just like you have your WOCA.com.
Right.
And then you go there and then you click on it and you can listen to what's going on.
Right.
The app does the same thing. You click on it, you got it.
I didn't even know that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Because I'm here. I don't really need to tune into it. But I'm thinking one day I'm gonna like retire.
I think you should.
And then I'll listen. Then I'll be listening to you talking to somebody else.
Yeah, I'm shooting for 75. I'm 73 now. So another year and a half away and I'm gonna be less
Oh, really?
productive.
Well, I don't want to stop working. I just think
Less productive. That's all.
Yeah.
Do you have any Ocala shows that are all lined up to debut on your channel?
No, we haven't gotten that. Once the beta test takes off, there are some things I'd like to do, and I don't want to announce them right now. But I'm going to have people. I'm going to see if people will volunteer to come on and head that endeavor.
Mm-hmm.
Like for instance, I would like to have all the schools record everything, even kindergarten graduation. Mm-hmm. So the grandmother that's in Ohio, let's say, her son's here, her grandson's here and graduates from elementary school or third grade, and they videotape it.
Oh, nice.
You can watch it.
Yeah, that's a really good idea.
You can watch it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great idea.
I love when they do stuff like that. I like the fact that the school board does their meetings and the county commission does their meetings, and you can see everything on, computer usually.
And then the school plays. I mean, those school plays that are really dynamite. I mean, I've seen one or two of them, and but they're not, broadcast, but they are recorded.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Right.
So
exactly.
we'll choose some. Probably be a group of volunteers who'll say we'll make sure that all those recordings get digitized.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we have the equipment. It's just a question of bringing in the video. We digitize it. Then it goes into a server, and then the server stores it forever. And so if 6 months from now you find out that there was a play at Vanguard, let's say, you just go watch it.
Oh, nice. I like that.
And wouldn't that be great, like as an archive thing? Like if you were in a play when you were 16 and now you're 60.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you tell your kids or your grandkids, I was in a play once. Let me see, Grandpa. And you find it on the internet.
Well, that's what we're doing for Appalachia State in Boone, North Carolina, the university. The alumni would like to have a channel. Everything, the wrestling matches, the football, everything was videotaped, everything. And it's been digitized and it's stored on a server. So I said, I can put that on my system. And then what you can do is contact all the alumni, and Granddad could get his grandkids around and say, I played football back in 1970 or whatever it is. Here, you can watch the game that I played in.
Oh, wow.
So that's what we want to do. That's the goal. The goal is to digitize everything.
I see the phone ringing again. Good morning. You're on the air with Jim.
Good morning. This is Sonny calling again. You said it's going to take 7 years. Yeah, because everything is done using parabolics. and there's never a true straight line because of the rotation of the galaxy and the supposedly stationary effect of the sun. Everything in our particular galaxy rotates around the sun, so everything is not a straight line. Everything is like in curves, and
I like
takes
curves.
some great mathematicians to figure that out.
Sonny, you might be interested to know that the rocket is flying to the sun's corona, which is a neighborhood in Queens, by the way.
Yeah, 108th Street Ice, Corona Ice.
Thank you, Sonny.
Yeah, well, anyway, again, it's really something to study. I mean, if you even look at what we were able to do today, nothing goes in a straight line. Like if we want to go up to the space station or everything is done in a curve. And that's how they try to line everything up so that our supply satellites, everything will line up and meet with the space, the space station, etc. And of course, naturally, the greater the distance, the bigger the curve, and the longer the distance, actual distance for whatever it is to get there.
Yep.
You can't, just because you can see that Mars, like lately you were able to see it with your eye. When something goes up, it goes crazy. Like if you look at the way most launches take place from Kennedy, it goes out over the water because it goes in a curve around the Earth and then slingshots off either to the moon or they use some other planet to help give it acceleration through the other planet's gravity. It's really amazing math when you look at it. It's way beyond me. But anyway, I did all that when I was in the service with navigation and everything using radar, and even that was kind of hairy. And that was before computers on ships. Anyway, have a great day.
Oh, thank you.
Wow, you got a smart guy right there, huh?
Yeah. Well, we're the third planet from the sun, they say. So there's 2 other planets closer.
Mm-hmm.
We got to make sure we don't hit those things.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, they're pretty large. They're going around too. Get out of my way. I'm heading to the sun.
It is pretty amazing, though. Do you have a satellite that's designated just for you?
Yeah.
No,
what do you use?
no.
Cable?
No, well, cable itself has multiple satellites, hundreds. If I brought in the geosynchronous orbit chart and showed it to you, you'd probably count about 200 minimum satellites that are up in the sky. And the look angle, let's say it's 118 degrees, or throw out one. They're stacked behind each other. So let's say DirecTV is 219 degrees, and it's got a certain 23 degree elevation. But the other one, Dish, is right behind it at the same 119 degrees, but it might have a 25 degree elevation. And so they're lined up in an orbit that's geosynchronous, but behind each other. So just a couple of degrees higher or lower will get you the other satellites. So when we're aiming at a satellite, a lot of times we'll pick up 3, 4, 5 satellites off of the same dish until we, finally have the elevation, the azimuth, correct.
Is that done? Is the aiming done with manually? Do you literally have to crank something, or
you do? So the big dishes are done manually, but they have the computerized ones also. The motor will turn them and do everything, but that's for the big boys. That, and I don't by big boys, I don't even mean Cox or Bright House. I mean, the scientific world, because they have to get it down to an nth of the degree. What we do is we have our spectrum analyzers and our meters, and we read the signal strength that we want, and then we read the interference we don't want. And there has to be that happy medium where the interference is as low as it can go, and the signal is as high as it can go, and that's the happy medium.
Oh, okay.
So what did you think about our interview with the guy who said he used to be Nero?
Well, I only caught the tail end of it, and I'm so glad I missed it. I was so glad I missed it.
We're just trying to be polite.
Yeah. That was I could say things, but it wouldn't do it.
When you're focusing on the different jobs and all, do you have other ideas in your head as to how you can improve whatever it is that you're originally laying or repairing something?
Yeah, you always think about what you could do better or different that would make it better. Even this morning driving in, I had to get one of my employees from Dunellen and bring him in. And I was just thinking, that we better put some conduit over here just in case, just in the future. Mm-hmm. Because once they close up the holes, then it's up to me to dig it if I want to do something later. Oh. And so, you always want to do a little extra just in case. Mm-hmm. Just in case. And in this case, it's going to work out good because they haven't covered the holes up yet. And the trenches are 48 inches wide and
oh my gosh,
48 inches deep. And I'm jumping in the hole and running conduit easily. Uh-huh. Later on, I'd have to trench that. And my shovel's not that big.
Do you know what I never did before, but I did the other day for the first time? I put in a stove.
The stove.
Robin's stove was out. And so her landlord got a new one for her and I helped put it in. And it did not come with a wire.
So you had to rewire the pigtail yourself.
I didn't do it. The other guy did it, but I just never knew. I never knew.
I had no clue.
I had no idea they sold them without a cord.
Yeah. So because there's different outlets in different, there's a 3-prong type and a 4-prong type, and so they don't sell
just
them
use
the
old one. They use the old one.
Just take the old one off and move it over. Right. They last forever. Last forever. But there's a little different wiring scheme. If you notice, if you open the back of it, or put the wire, it says put the wires here for the 3-prong and put the wires there for the 4-prong.
Oh, okay. I didn't.
So you don't have to be a genius. You just got to follow the pattern.
I just had to push the thing. Yeah. I just had to move it.
So when you go to the store, then you have to make sure that you look at whatever it is you have in your house, so you can tell the guy at the store, so he gives you the right one then.
Right. Well, they'll sell you the cord. It's always separate, whether it's a 3 or a 4. Mm-hmm. And he'll ask you, did you have the 3-prong type or the 4-prong type? And then you just tell him. And there's only 2 models, so the 3 or the 4. So
okay.
It's not like you have, and even the color of the cords are usually either black or gray. Uh-huh. You can't get a white one or a red one to match your tile or something,
Oh, I see. It doesn't work that
when
way.
the electricity goes out for a prolonged period of time, and you get this message that says turn off your circuit breakers because a fire could start. Why does this fire start when that happens, but not when it's like electricity goes off for a half hour or something? How come only when it's off for a long time?
I'm thinking, I don't think I've ever seen that message. So you say that appears where? On your panel?
No, my phone.
On your phone, it says, okay, so let's say the power company has...
Power's been out, for a long time. Mm-hmm. And make sure your circuit breakers are off. We're going to turn the power back on.
Yeah, well, that's the initial surge. So your refrigerator, for instance, has a capacitor in it and it has a motor. So the motor is an inductor, coil of wire, and the capacitor is what keeps the voltage and the current in line with each other. Well, when that voltage comes down the line and hits that refrigerator, a lot of times it will burn the motor up because maybe the capacitor has lost its charge. So a capacitor is actually a battery.
Oh.
It's really a battery, but it stores a charge. And so when your voltage goes on and off, like thunderstorms or something like that, there's always a good sized charge in that capacitor to keep the amperage and the voltage in line. So we have a saying, it's called Eli the Iceman. So Eli, E-L-I. So E leads voltage in an inductive circuit. L is inductor. And that's the Eli. And ice is current leads voltage in a capacity. C is for capacitor.
Oh.
So as long as we remember those symbols, like when we take electronics classes, what kind of, so the way you can cheat, the way a lot of big factories cheat on how much current they buy is they'll put a big inductor inside their building. And what that does is it lets the voltage and current read out of phase. And when they read out of phase, your stuff inside will work. The meter can't determine how much voltage you used.
Oh, my
gosh. So power companies come around a lot of times and check to see what you have inside.
How
A lot of that was
fascinating.
over my head.
I love this.
It's a little technical.
It's over my head.
Yeah.
Eli the Iceman.
So I only knew Corona was in Queens.
Yeah, there you go.
And I know it's
So a
booze.
Corona. Isn't that a cigar?
I don't know where that
I
comes from.
sense a,
Yeah, that's right. That's a
it's
cigar.
It's a Corona.
And I think it's alcohol too.
Oh, there you go.
I'm
Beer,
set.
Corona.
So, what are you doing this week? Anything good?
I'm working. Yeah, we're trying to get caught up on this project we're doing, and we're really, it's hot out there. If you haven't noticed,
Yeah, be careful.
it is so.
Yeah,
hot.
don't let that happen.
Don't get your heat
All right.
stroke.
All right. Well, thank you. Another beautiful day in downtown Ocala. Look at the sky, though. What's the rain probability?
40%. 40%.
40%. I hope
Yeah.
it doesn't work that way. I have open ditches.
Oh yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. You be careful out there. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Here is your 1-minute news brief. A U.S. district judge has ruled that early voting must be permitted on college campuses in the state. A Florida statute which designated early voting places included libraries and fairgrounds, but did not include colleges and universities. The ruling changes that. By the way, early voting in Marion County begins on Saturday, August 18th and ends on Saturday, August 25th. The Seminole Tribe of Florida plans to eliminate plastic straws at its 6 casinos in the state. The Florida Supreme Court will decide whether Governor Rick Scott should get to pick a new judge for Northeast Florida or if it should be left up to voters. Federal safety inspectors released photos showing cracks in the concrete of an under-construction pedestrian bridge taken just days before it collapsed near Florida International University back in March. And Busch Gardens in Tampa has announced details of this year's Howl O Scream, including Maniac Midway, which promises a world of scary clowns. And that is your news brief from The Source.
On this Friday, a mix of sun and clouds with a thunderstorm around. It'll be mainly in the afternoon across the interior, the high 89 to 93. Partly to mostly cloudy Friday nights with a shower or thunderstorm mainly early on, the low 74 to 78. For Saturday, clouds and sun with a thunderstorm or two around in the afternoon, the high 88 to 92. And on Sunday, clouds and sun with a shower or thunderstorm, high 88 to 92. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Friends, countrymen, tourists, and Ocalans, lend me your ears. Hey, speaking of ears, there is an opportunity for you to help feed and provide good maintenance, housing, and medical care for Marion County's rescued big cats, bears, monkeys, and other disabled or unreleasable wild and exotic animals. Take a tour on Wednesdays or Saturdays of the Endangered Animal Rescue Sanctuary. Call 352-266-2859. The Endangered Animal Rescue Sanctuary is affectionately known as EARS.
With a graduate degree in management and leadership from Webster University, there'll never be a better time for you to explore what's next in your career. Classes are scheduled so you can continue your normal workday routine, and the accelerated program means a new term starts about every 10 weeks. If you're looking to gain a broad general management and leadership perspective, then Webster University's Management and Leadership degree program is the right one for you. It's all a part of what's next at Webster University.
Go to webster.edu/manage, accredited by